Is red light therapy worth all the hype? Personally, I was really skeptical about red light therapy. I viewed it as just another thing to purchase, and I didn't think much of it. But however, after a client of mine was dealing with swollen ankles and she noticed that red light therapy decreased the swollen ankles, I decided to look more into it. And because of the research that I found, I want to share it with you because I think red light therapy is a phenomenal tool, low stress tool that's key to help us age well and prevent disease. Try to use it 20 to 30 minutes 3 times per week. First off, I want to explain to you what is red light therapy, what does research say about it, and why don't doctors tell us to do it more. So here we go. So what exactly is red light, and is it the same thing as sunshine? Kind of. It is kind of the same thing. I found this really confusing and I didn't understand. I would see people using red light and think, are they going to get sunburned? Do you get a tan with it? It's actually different, and here's why. So light from the sun comes in a very wide spectrum. There's a wide range of sunlight, and so when you think about that, you can think of like, okay, well, do you get much sun at sunrise? What about sunset? It's all different than if you were to come outside at noon, right? You would get a different range of light. Let's see. So the spectrum range for sun that we receive is between 300 to 2,500 nanometers, okay? And so that's a wide range, right? 300 to 2,500. Red light is really a narrow, isolated area within that range. Red light therapy is around 600 to 700 nanometers. So within that range that we get from sunlight, 300 to 2500, red light is that isolated area around 600 to 700 nanometers. And the benefit is that when you are in that red light range, that one specific range, you avoid the negative side effects that can come from the higher nanometer spectrum, such as skin damage, excessive sunlight exposure that can lead to sunburns and things like that. Red light falls within this range that only produces energy. How cool is that? Red light therapy, or the red light, that small area that we can get from the sun, it only produces energy. It does not destroy things. And so as you'll see, like I'm about to talk about all the health benefits of red light therapy, it produces energy in our body. It supports the mitochondria in our cells, which is the powerhouse. And so all these things, I hope that explains it better for you. The red light therapy aspect is the sun has a wide spectrum. Red light therapy is just one small range in there. There's things like the blue light, there's green light, there's all these other things, areas that you can get different spectrum from the sun. But red light deals with one small range, and it doesn't lead to sunburn or skin damage. So one of the top benefits that I found that really transformed my opinion about red light therapy is the impact that it can have on your liver health. So I am very passionate about liver health because there is something called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease that few people are talking about. I'm just going to give you a little bit of info about non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So it's estimated that by the year 2050, over half the population globally will have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And that's a big deal. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease hinders the liver's ability to perform its functions, and it has over 500 functions in the body. Major health crisis because doctors don't talk about non-alcoholic fatty liver disease when they see that their patients have it, because there's nothing that you really can do outside of lifestyle changes. So they're not going to tell you what to do. They just kind of put it off until it reaches the next stage, which is serious liver damage that is not reversible. And so if you have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, you need to take it very seriously. I've been there. I saw that I had it on imaging during an ER visit. No one told me about it. I saw it on the thing, which I talked to so many people and they're in the same boat. So you can reverse it. It is reversible, but non-alcoholic fatty liver disease alone increases the risk for heart disease, stroke, and cancer. You can have it and not know that you have it. And with the projections for people who will have it in the future, my recommendation is that we all should be acting like we have it, acting to either reverse it or prevent it. So you really need to be focusing on your liver health. And so the number one thing that transformed my opinion about red light therapy is I read that it has the power to reduce oxidative stress in the liver. And so oxidative stress, or stress in general, can lead to poor function and impaired liver function or impaired function of anything. We want to decrease oxidative stress in our life, especially as we age. And so when I saw that it improved liver health, I was like, why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you sit down, put a light over your liver a couple times a week and know that it would improve your liver health? In my opinion, that's a no-brainer. Your liver, on another note, is your body's primary detoxification organ. We are bombarded with toxins in the pollution, in air, in the foods that we eat, in pesticides, in things that we come into contact daily. You can be a very healthy individual, live very health conscious, and still come into tons of toxic elements. And so you need a healthy functioning liver to help your body to eliminate these toxins. Otherwise they can build up in your body, and that leads to disease. That can lead to irreversible damage. And so supporting your liver health, your body's primary detoxification organ, hands down, most important thing. Okay, the next thing that's the most important outside of liver health that is super transformative and a benefit of red light therapy is it decreases insulin resistance. Insulin resistance, a lot of people refer to as pre-diabetes, which is true, it can be that, but as we age, we increase insulin resistance in our life. I have a video on insulin resistance, I can link it below for you. But rather than trying to prevent insulin resistance, what we should be doing is trying to decrease or turn down the dial of insulin resistance in our life as we age, because in my opinion, everyone's insulin resistant to some degree. It's just, are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you closer to that pre-diabetic range, like a 10 out of 10? Or are you maybe between a 1 and 5 on that range? And there's so many lifestyle changes that you can implement to make sure you're not getting closer and closer to that pre-diabetic range or type 2 diabetes range. And so what I saw on research was that red light therapy helps you balance blood sugar. And red light therapy decreases insulin resistance. It also has been linked to improving mood in those who are insulin resistant. So your blood sugar balance is directly linked also to your mood, your brain, all these things. That has a huge impact on it. And a lot of people who have imbalanced blood sugar also battle depression. If you have imbalanced blood sugar, you are more likely to deal with mental health issues, be depressed, maybe even have anxiety. It's very common. And so red light therapy has been shown to help that. So if you want to age well, if you want to decrease insulin resistance in your life, which in my opinion is the common soil to every health issue today as we age, heart disease, stroke, cancer, it is all linked back to insulin resistance. Poor liver health, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, it's all linked back to insulin resistance. So if you want to decrease that in your life, why not sit in front of a red light? So thyroid health, a lot of people have hypothyroidism these days, but specifically there is a subset of hypothyroidism known as Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease form of hypothyroidism. So basically the body is attacking its own tissue, its own cells, and that's what's happening in Hashimoto's. The way that you diagnose, or one of the ways that you diagnose Hashimoto's is through a blood test called TPO antibodies. So you're checking for levels of TPO antibodies, and TPO antibodies are high in individuals with Hashimoto's. Red light therapy has been shown to decrease TPO antibodies in those who have Hashimoto's. Now, if you have Hashimoto's, a lot of my clients who have Hashimoto's, maybe you can relate to this too, they get a diagnosis, their endocrinologist checks TPO antibodies, and then they never check their TPO antibodies again. Because in their mind, there is nothing that you can do outside of medication to improve someone's thyroid health. That's just not true. Diet and lifestyle alone has helped my clients decrease their TPO antibodies. And we have research here that shows that using a red light therapy on your thyroid can decrease TPO antibodies. So don't ever feel restrained to only getting things tested that your doctor thinks that you should test. You should and retest those, because what a great sign of all the things that you've been implementing in your life. I have a a protocol for my Hashimoto's clients. There are things that you can do with diet and lifestyle. I know there are a lot of people, a lot of women between the ages of 30 and 50 are diagnosed with this during times of their life like that. High stress can lead to it, all this other stuff. So if you need help with that, feel free to comment. I'm happy to make a video on that as well. But here's another really cool thing about red light therapy. I just have two more actually. Two more that I think are really worthwhile. So I hadn't heard of this. Maybe you've heard of this before, but I've heard of the lymphatic system, right? Your lymph nodes, your body has a lymphatic system, and this goes all throughout our body. It helps us to boost our immune, it helps us with our immune system, it fights infection, all these things. But there's also something called a glymphatic system with a G. And our glymphatic system supports waste removal in our nervous system. Your nervous system is all your nerves that innervate and go up to our brain, through our spinal cord, and all throughout our body. Glymphatic system's primary role is to escort waste out of the brain and the nervous system. And when you think of waste in the brain and nervous system, think of things like Alzheimer's disease. Think of things like Parkinson's disease. Think of any neurological disorder with aging. There is a buildup of toxins in those situations. And so if we want to age well and prevent disease, we want to have a very healthy glymphatic system. We want to make sure that we are decreasing neurovascular, neuroinflammatory, and neurodegenerative diseases. And a really cool aspect to red light therapy is it was shown to improve the process and to decrease the elimination of toxic elements. It's just unbelievable. And I have one more. So you probably know that we want to decrease chronic low-grade inflammation in our body because it does lead to disease. Red light therapy has been shown to have anti-inflammatory effects in animal models, and we always need to take that with a grain of salt because mice aren't humans. However, it's very similar. There are a lot of similarities, and there is evidence to show that, just like my client I told you at the very beginning, she was dealing with swollen ankles. There are people who also deal with joint pain, and they use red light therapy and they notice a difference. So this article showed that it promotes healing, red light therapy does. It also improves by decreasing inflammation. Inflammation can lead to arthritis, brain injury, wound healing. It decreases pain, it supports muscle recovery after a workout, and it can decrease abdominal fat. So all those things are linked back to inflammation. And so if you are wanting to improve your health, improve your well-being, decrease inflammation, then red light therapy is kind of a no-brainer. And then just a final thought, red light therapy has so many benefits, but it will never replace the health benefits of sunshine in your life. You do not get vitamin D from red light therapy, and so you want to make sure that you get enough sunshine when possible. It can help if you live somewhere, especially during the winter, where you don't have any access to sunlight very often, because it is a spectrum of sunlight. So that's kind of cool. But by means of getting vitamin D, all the nutrient dense aspects and mental health benefits to sunlight, red light therapy will never replace that. And so the more the better, especially early morning sunlight. But make sure that you don't use red light therapy in place of getting some natural sunlight. No supplement, no tool will ever replace nature's natural process of things. However, some two natural sources for red light are the time of day that you would get red light therapy from the sun would be sunset. So if you don't want to purchase a red light therapy machine, you could watch the sunset more. That's what I was doing before. I still do, but I would do before I got red light therapy. And then the other thing too is from flames of fire. So if you're sitting by a campfire, you get red light therapy. How cool is that? But just keep those things in mind. Don't ever let red light therapy replace natural sunlight. But I personally have two forms of red light therapy. I have a square one, and then I have a curved one that you might have seen in the videos. I really, really, really like the curved one because, as you can see in the photos, I use it specifically on my liver. But you can do whatever you want. I'll link the one that I have in the comments below or in the description. And if you have any questions or you want to hear more info on any of those, just let me know. And here's to a better, healthier you.